hospitality industry has been hit hard by the pandemic, and the incomes of hundreds of thousands who depend on the sector have been affected. One of the countries that's been working hard to revive its tourism industry is Kenya. Tourism is one of the country's major foreign exchange earners. Now, international flights have resumed, and the authorities say that Kenya is ready to receive visitors, while locals are being encouraged to go on holiday at home. Let's join Emmanuel Igunza now for a visit to the world-famous Masai Mara Game Reserve.
The majesty of one of the 8 wonders of the world, the Masai Mara is Kenya's crown jewel when it comes to tourism destinations. Every year, millions of wildebeest migrate from Tanzania to Kenya, giving visitors to the Masai Mara a highlight of their safari. This year, however, visitors are few as the sector struggles to survive due to the shocks brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. And for some of these tour operators, this is the first time they are getting any jobs since the beginning of the year. After months of inactivity, the tourism sector is slowly bouncing back. Visitors are coming to national parks like this one, and it coincides with the annual migration. The locals and the government are hoping that this will give an impetus to an industry that was on its deathbed. Kenya's tourism industry largely depends on international visitors, but domestic tourists have kept many attractions afloat as they suffered job cuts and revenue losses due to coronavirus. For some, this was the first time witnessing the phenomenon.
Because the costs have been reduced, I think, to half, and we feel now it is affordable for us to come and see the nature and the beautiful things that are around our country. I never thought that I would have an opportunity to come to Mara, but I thank God that I've had that opportunity.
Once I came here, my thought and my view about everything has changed. I'm actually been embarrassed that I've not come here for like the 29 years I've been alive.
The government has also turned to one of its most famous names to help with tourists as countries around the world ease lockdown restrictions. World marathon record holder and Olympic champion Eliud Kipchoge has been appointed by the Kenyan authorities as a tourism ambassador. He even trained with wildlife rangers in the wild to promote conservation.
Local tourism actually is important. I urge people to visit every conservancy. I urge people to visit Mara, especially from now to October, to actually witness the wild-beast migration. And you know, local tourism is what actually builds Kenya. Tourism is what makes conservation actually to be perfect. Tourism actually is what makes people actually to get employment, and that's the only way to make them go home as a happy people.
The corona pandemic has affected the tourism sector badly. We are almost shut down as a sector. At the moment, we are trying to revive the sector through the domestic tourism strategy. And that's why we ask Kenyans, it is Kenyans to support tourism so that the economy and jobs can be created.
The big concern is they've almost been priced out over the years in accessing a premium facility like this. What are you going to do about this?
Actually, in the last 10 years, we tried to encourage domestic tourism, so we are much better than most of the countries in the continent of Africa. But definitely, domestic tourism has a different taste, needs a different product, and are very sensitive to pricing. So we have encouraged our investors to appreciate this is a potential market that they can benefit from it. And in the new normal, we have no choice but to deal with the domestic market. So we need to adjust to attract the domestic market.
And industry players are already seeing the benefits of local tourism. Many hotels have cut prices by nearly half in order to attract more clients. This is, after all, a multi-billion-dollar industry that employs more than 2 million people and contributes 10% to the country's GDP.
We're thinking this is probably the opportunity we've been waiting for, where the hotels are all open, and Kenyans who have been upheld in their homes, they couldn't leave because there was the COVID restrictions. They feel like they want to go out. So we think it's a big opportunity for us to really showcase the best of what we offer. And the families are coming. And I know even after the COVID is done, I really believe this will give a big resurgence for local tourism in Kenya.
Much optimism, but the government has warned that the industry will take years to shake off the impact of coronavirus. Projections from experts say full recovery might not be until 2023. But for locals and businesses that depend so much on tourism, the easing of lockdowns could well be the beginning of a new chapter for Kenya's famed tourism.
Emmanuel Igunza brought us that report from the Masai Mara Game Reserve in Kenya.